How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's DFS picks for the Superstart Batteries 188 at Daytona Road Course. We just got done watching the Truck Series, and what an everlasting race that was. Mega, how did you feel about that race, and what can we expect heading into Xfinity?
Well, there was a little bit of rain, and it looks like, looking at the forecast, it is Florida. Things could pop up at any time, but it actually looks clear. So I don't think we're gonna have to play the game of do we want the sticker tires or do we want the rain tires? Going through that, it seemed like it was pretty conservative. We didn't see like a ton of passing, a ton of action. We did see some mechanical problems here and there too. So I think the teams that you didn't see any of like the Thor trucks breaking down or any of like the bigger teams, but it seems like it was the Nice trucks and the some of the smaller teams and some of the inexperienced drivers caused a little bit of chaos too. So I think tomorrow with Xfinity, you've got a good crop of guys who ran it last year, so they've kind of seen it. They know what to expect, but you still have a decent bunch of guys who've never done this before, so could be chaotic.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of bad drivers tomorrow, duds and landmines that we're gonna have to try to avoid. I thought equipment was the biggest thing that I saw. If you don't have the right stuff, this Daytona Road Course is going to kind of chew you up. It's you can't really rely on any skill. You really just need equipment because you're trying to get up to high speeds in that banking, and you're trying to get you got a backstretch. You're trying to get speed and braking, and like if you don't have what these other top tier teams have, you're really at a big disadvantage. So from this point forward, for me in the Xfinity and into the Cup, I'm going to be really trying to focus on guys that have really good equipment and that have been doing, or have the experience, as a team in these races and on events like this. So, but yeah, the Truck Series was okay, and you fared out pretty well, Mega. I mean, a couple of $100, huh?
Yeah, and I was like up several hundred more had they thrown the white flag like 30 seconds earlier. And that final lap, I felt the pain of that driver. I think he ended up winning the race anyways, but
Yeah, Rhodes.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
Rhodes, but it could have been a little bit more profitable. But I'll take it. It was good. Check out
absolutely.
Twitter. We'll post our results so you can see.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Mega was really spot on. He came into the Discord, and this is something you guys should really get into. If you get into our Discord, you can get onto these feels last second. Mega was feeling a Moffat fade, even though he was the cover guy and much talked about. He felt like the equipment and everything that Moffat had was going to actually go against him when that rain hit, and it was going to be harder to pass. And he was really spot on with that analysis, and he conveyed it to our Discord chat members, and it was probably profitable for them. But so good, big shout out to you, Andrew, on that. But let's get into some Xfinity here. We got this road course. It's 52 laps this time around, so we're getting 8 more laps than we did for the truck race.
Which 8 laps in this race and is an eternity.
Yes, yes. And what we saw at the end of this race for the truck race, oh my God. 3 overtimes, I think it
Yeah.
made it to.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
so
14 turns, so it's like what 104 more turns.
yeah. And one other thing I've noticed in this truck race is, place differential, yeah, it's a big benefit if you can finish inside the top 15. But even if you had a guy starting in the back, it's not much like a Daytona where Speedway, where the fluctuation of position changes kind of benefits you on a lap to lap basis. Here on these truck race or on these road courses, finishing position is going to be everything. And I'm kind of going to throw away starting position for that reason. I'm going to be solely focused on the guys that are going to be able to finish high, and maybe not much emphasis on guys starting in the back that can finish high. So you know what I mean? Like I'm going to throw starting position kind of out the window and just go with who I think is going to finish inside the top 10. mainly for GPPs. I understand cash is a different animal. What are your thoughts on that strategy? Any input on that?
Well, looking at Xfinity that we're talking about here, I think I'm gonna keep it kind of balanced. There's a guy that I really like up front that I think is gonna dominate the race. Now, keep in mind here, like when we talk about dominant, this isn't Bristol where there's like 500 laps and you're gonna accumulate so many points here. Again, there's what do we say, 52 laps, so it's not.
52.
And the other thing too is I believe if they run under caution, they don't get the points for leading the lap
Mm-mm.
or fastest lap points. So, and there was a
No.
lot of caution laps here. So I would say, like, would you say like maybe a fourth of this race was run under caution?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at the end. I think when we got down to like 16 to go, there was 5 cautions and there was 8 total. Yeah. So yeah. And you're right. They don't get caution led laps or fastest laps or anything like that. So you're not getting a double points or anything. It's solely finishing position. So if anything, this truck race was good for the learning curve. But let's get into some picks here. Give me 2 of your favorite cash plays. 2 guys you are begging for dominant, not dominant, but uh, big thumbs up plays from you, Mega. Who do you got?
Okay, well, let's start towards the back. I think Annette, he's starting 33rd. I think he's definitely in a very good car, and it's only 8,700. So I think that he's definitely one that is in the back just based on Daytona results. He's much better than that. He's had decent history at road courses, and I think he can definitely move his way up front and finish top 15, maybe even to the top 10. So that gets you 5-6x value at that price. So definitely like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Junior Motorsports, Michael Annett, always a experienced driver. I think he ran this course last year. I think he was inside the top 10 in his finish position. What about another guy here at 10-7? Who's your guy?
It's Austin Cindric. He's the best driver in Xfinity series. He is a good road course driver. He pretty much dominated this race last year. He did well in the Indy race also, but I think that I believe it was Indy where they called like that. It was a restart and some judgment decision that he started too fast in the zone or whatever. It was like a hair line
Yeah.
call on that one. So that like, put him back and he had to go to like the back of the field or whatever, but he probably would have won that one too. So definitely someone that I can think that, he's starting second. So, there is a little bit of risk, but I think he's going to get out front. He's going to lead laps and he's going to finish very high. So he's definitely going to, even though his salary's up there, he'll be able to accumulate enough DP points to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, this is a guy that's going to finish inside the top 10 unless somebody wrecks him and puts him into a wall. Cindric is finishing top 5 in this race, and it doesn't matter how many laps he leads. I think I'm playing Cindric regardless because I can take that floor and that safety net and I can bank on it and just have to eat the price tag. But we're going to have to find out a way to fit someone like Austin Cindric into a lot of our lineups. Who is our favorite cash value play tomorrow?
Well, I think that definitely looking at Gibbs, he is so cheap in a really good car. Even though he's starting 15th, which is a little bit high, like he's only 4,700. And the pedigree, like I know he's young and he's just starting out, but like 4,700, it's just too cheap. He can open up so much in your lineup. He's only 18 years old, but he has run in ARCA. He has run on this course before. I think he finished like second or third here previously. So, he
Nice.
definitely has some history also. And he's probably even 18 more experience than a lot of the other drivers that are in this race that have been racing for years.
Well, we know with these young drivers, they always do these, simulators and everything like that. And I'm sure Ty Gibbs is his name, correct?
Yep,
Yeah, I'm
Joe's
sure.
grandson.
That's what I was going to say. He's got a affiliation with Gibbs Racing. He's probably done, a simulator or some kind of talks with veterans in the garage
Yeah, he's
about
been
how
around
to.
it his whole life. They probably threw a crankshaft into his cradle instead of a rattle.
Yeah, I would feel pretty confident in Ty Gibbs tomorrow. 4,700 and 15th. All he's got to do is just stay around where he started, and I think he pays off that price tag. But for me, in cash games, I'm looking at another Gibbs car, Brandon Jones at 9K at 39th starting position. Brandon Jones finished second in last year's Xfinity race at the road course. Um, he is what I've been told from you is risky, as he's not the best road course driver. I'm not sure how he landed the second, but 39th starting position. He's got really good equipment. I think there's a case to be made as a cash play, based on the starting position, getting up to the front, and hopefully not wrecking. Now, could that lead to a decent GPP fade? As he's probably going to be a 40% owned driver tomorrow with his starting position. What we saw drivers like Friesen do today, and other drivers that were starting in the back come all the way to the front. That point differential is eye-opening for people that play the Truck Series as well. So I think Brandon Jones is going to be popular. Definitely a cash play, maybe a GBP fade in some aspects, but I think he's going to be a decent play at his price tag. But as we transition into the GBP plays, we're going to need some guys with low ownership, and we're going to need some guys that are going to be able to finish inside our top 10. Who do you have as your favorite GPP play?
I like Miguel Paludo. I think that's
Paludo.
Paludo. Yeah, he's um he's 8,200.
Yeah,
He's starting in 35th, and definitely a discount from, well, it's only $800, but you know uh, I think he's got a lot of experience. He's in a really good, that 8 car is a really solid car. It's had a lot of speed in it, so, and he's got like a ton of road races. Like I think it's like north of like 250 or something like that, with
wow.
30 some wins. So um, he did spend some time in the Truck Series also. Um, I don't know how he did there. They don't run a ton of road races, but it's just
Sure.
somebody that like strikes me as somebody that knows what they're doing. But the thing that can, like, why we're talking GPP and why like I'm a little hesitant with Jones is starting the back of the pack with all these questionable drivers. If they're trying to push through and these guys make mistakes, they could get clipped. Now, of course, getting a ding in a road race is nothing. Like aerodynamics, don't matter too much. You're drafting a little bit, but they're on the straightaways not long enough for it to really matter or to like slow the
Sure.
car down.
Yeah. And Paludo, he's driving the 8 car. It's a Penske car, correct?
No, it's JR Motorsports.
Okay, Junior Motorsports.
Yep.
The 22 and the 2 car are the Penske cars, correct? That's Cindric, and I'm not sure who's running the other one.
I don't know if is there another Penske in.
Oh, I always thought there was 2
No,
in the series.
there's
Oh,
a. I think there's affiliates with them, but I don't.
oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, well, I think Paludo with that 250 starts in a road course has got to be really good. With the Junior Motorsports, that's good tandem right there. I like that for GPPs. But we're gonna have to fit some value guys, and then maybe some other random plays that we might like. Who do you like in more GPP lineups?
The other guy for value I really like is Chris Wright. He's at 19th, so he's a little bit higher than you'd want, but just his at 46, like if you pair him up with Gibbs at 47, it just opens up so much in your lineup for you to be able to like hammer some of those cash plays, and like right in the sweet spot where we talked about, if you watch the last video, said about usually in super speedways you want 24th on back for place differential. I know we talked about we didn't want like a ton of place differential here, so we're not stacking the way back, but there is and I hope I'm not stealing any of your thunder here, but
No,
there's
go
a
ahead.
whole like line like 24, 25, 26, 27, where you have like Lowley, who's an experienced road course driver, Algeier, Grayson, Sieg, um, even Buford, like right in that area, and all those guys are like, around 9.4 or 10K. It really helps you put those guys in your lineup as like good cash plays.
Yeah, I got to agree. We're going to need to play guys in the 4K. And if we can't play two guys like Gibbs and Wright, then it's going to be a pretty hard slate to work out logistically with your lineups. But for another guy I do like in the middle of the pack here at 8,400 is Jeremy Clements for GBPs. Now, as we mentioned, the stars and scrub type of strategy could leave guys like Clements low owned. He is starting 17th. But he did finish top 10 in this event last year. Clements and his team have been an experienced Xfinity team throughout the last couple of years. He has a lot of history, and he's a veteran, known as a veteran Xfinity driver. A guy always goes unnoticed, and I think he's going to be, bold prediction would tell you he'd be in the winning lineup. I think he's going to be in a couple of good lineups, and hopefully maybe if he gets that top 5, he's in the winning lineup. I think he has that kind of upside. We've seen him do that from time to time. What about a random guy I wanted to talk to you about is Preston Pardus. I think that's going to be a road course ringer people flock to in the industry starting 23rd. Any merit to Preston?
Yeah, I like him. Actually, I think he's going to have like medium ownership. That's what I have him on the sheet as. I don't think he's going to be super high, but I think they're going to look at some of the guys like way in the back. I think he falls, just above, like I said, 24 is usually the magic number. He's 23, and sometimes we need to stay in the box. So,
Sure. Yeah, I would have to agree. All right. Well, I think that's it from me. Anything else to add here for the Xfinity Road Course?
no, I think, the one thing that we kind of talked about off camera about the trucks races, it doesn't really seem like if anybody fails tech and starts in the back, I think it puts a little bit of risk on them just because, again, we said they're around like some of the drivers that like don't know what they're doing as much, but there's enough laps here with pit strategy and stuff. If they're patient and they're not overly aggressive, I think they'll be fine. The only thing to other than to kind of work or look at that I've seen some buzz on is the Kahlua cars. They were not set up well for this track last year, and some of the drivers that were in them just drove the car the way they wanted to drive it instead of like trying to get a feel for it and like letting the pit crew make some adjustments on it. And it did not end well for most of them. They pushed it and they broke or they, got in accidents and things like that. Other
Those
than
are
other
go
than
ahead.
AJ Allmendinger, who we really haven't mentioned, who is
I was gonna say just
yeah,
that.
he actually did well. But we're used to him like not having the owner points or anything in these road races. He's the one that the first one you put in your lineup because he was always starting in the low 30s, and even though he was like 10 to 12K or whatever, you knew by lap 5 or 6, just like Chase Elliott, he blows right up through the field. So but that might be another GPP person. Or if you want to try to get Cindric and Allmendinger in the lineup using those two value guys we talked about, it definitely works.
I was just about to say, I think I found my GPP strategy. I forgot about AJ Allmendinger. Right. Well, hey, perks of listening this long into the video, and also perks to our NASCAR content. Magarula does an awesome job on his projections. You can find our Discord channel on the FSI _DFS Twitter handle. You can find a link to our Discord. You can get these projections, you can get these core lineups, and you can get to talk to us leading up to the lock time for the race. And you can get some of the insights that we deliver just before race. And for Mega, it was a very profitable adjustment today. And hopefully we have a very profitable day tomorrow. And tune in tomorrow as well for our Cup Road Course breakdown. And as always, please like the video. That helps us help you. And please subscribe to the channel as we are hunting for that 2K. We are really close.
Could be you.
It could be you. You
could be you.
You could be the 2,000 subscriber. We should really get with the other owners and talk about maybe a 2,000th subscriber contest. It's something that should have been brought up, but yeah, you know, I think that'd be cool.
We could work on 3,000 then.
That's right. That's right. All righty. Well, that'll wrap things up, and tune in tomorrow, and hope to see you in the chat. Later, guys.